Pablo Gunner here with another Nerd Rage. This one's going to be like a review, sort of, because it's going to be about Thor The Dark World. And, it was an awesome movie. I loved it. But here's why it's a Nerd Rage. Okay, first of all, Blacksmith, one of the guys from my crew, talked nerdy to me. He said some things that I completely disagree with. And so I'm going to mention that stuff here. Now, he had a lot of great stuff in his reviews. I mean, in his written review, which you can check out in this link right here. Okay, check it out right there. Which is probably where this video is going to be posted as well, possibly, maybe. Depends on if we want to compete and see if I can get more views for my video than he does for his written review. We'll see. But there are also some minor issues that I had with the movie that I felt, could have been fixed really easily. Okay? So, I'm going to jump into this. First of all, I'm going to start with Blacksmith's review, calling out his review. He says in his review, in the first paragraph, hey, I thought Thor, the first movie, was alright. Really? Because I've talked to a lot of people that say that it was a great movie, and they're people who know nothing about the comics. So as like an entry-level movie, character type of movie, it was great. I've talked to people about Captain America, and I love Captain America, and that was my favorite movie, and it had a lot of fan service. But a lot of people said they didn't get the connection to the character. Why? Because they're not big comic book fans, and he just wasn't done as well, I feel like. His whole origin story was not done as well, from the point of view of a new person coming in. Now, a comic book person like me, I liked it more, and I didn't think Thor was as good, but looking over it, I realized, hey, yeah, it really is a great entry-level movie, or origin story type of thing. They switched it up, but it was still really well done, I felt. That's probably one of my biggest complaints about his review, is that. But, there's other things like, I feel like there were certain issues with this movie that could have been fixed completely, which was, okay, a lot of people are saying that Eccleston, he was okay, or that his character's underrated, or that he was underused and stuff like that. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say that I agree with that, but I don't feel like it's his fault. He's a great actor, my favorite Doctor personally, because he's so effing intense and hardcore. I feel like there's a couple reasons for this. One, they tried to do a comic to film translation that didn't work, which is, in comics, you can write English and then just put like an asterisk that says, oh hey, this guy's talking in Elvish, but it's in English. And he just talked in Elvish the whole time, and so I was like, okay, I don't know if Elvish is a rough language or if he's just always that hardcore. It's like if someone talks in German, I might think that they're really pissed off, but for all I know, they're saying like, I love you, but they sound like they're saying they hate me. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. You don't know the language. You don't know the inflections. You don't know, you don't know it. So I feel like maybe they should have done something where he just talked in English the whole time. I think that would have improved the movie a lot, because his English-speaking parts are really intense. I kind of feel like they were cut short. And I feel like they were cut short for multiple reasons. Mostly because I felt like they wanted to add too much Loki. Now, we all love Loki. He's got to be my favorite villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or probably of all the Marvel, of any comic book villains, he has to be the best, as far as any movies are considered. Tom Hiddleston, he's such a great actor, he puts on a show. But I feel like they gave him more scenes and took away from Malekith, which Malekith is the villain, so you need to flesh him out a little more. I feel like maybe they cut some of his lines, especially when he was beating on Thor and he was starting to talk trash to him. I was like, yes, keep on talking trash. And then he just had like a couple lines, and I was like, no, I want you to go in detail about how you're gonna freaking, fillet Sif, and, drink out of Volstag's skull and use it as a goblet, or just hardcore evil stuff like that. Which, he was just the normal villain, which is, I just want to destroy the world, and I just want to make it dark, and I want it to be chaos. But those are ultimately the ultimate villains, because that's all they want, and you can't reason with them, and that's it, mind you, they're not the most interesting. Loki's definitely the most interesting villain, and there's so many reasons for that. This movie resonated with me emotionally more than any other movie, and I've been watching a lot of emotional stuff, like recently I saw Shield the other day, and I almost came to tears. I was like, oh no, and then this movie, I couldn't help it. Like, I had the bag of popcorn, and it was one of those where I cried, but it was like an angry cry. Like, that bag of popcorn was mulch when I was after that scene was done. Like, and the tears were down. Like, it was just two. And I was just that. Like I said, the popcorn was mulch when I was done with it, and I was pretty pissed off for a long time in the movie. And what's crazy is they did something very interesting in this movie that was like, hey, it's a death, and we've seen deaths in comics, and you're like, well, is it real? Is it not real? Are they going to come back? Is it, they, you know what I mean? And it was just, it really didn't matter whether or not that person's dead or they're going to come back or not, because of the way it was done. It was just done so well, that it really didn't matter. Now my complaints are like the doctor, the crazy doctor, white guy, what's his name? Selvig, I think, and Darcy. Those two characters, I didn't really, Darcy's an attractive lady. I'm not gonna deny that. But Selvig had horrible comedic timing. Like, one was like right after a death, and it was like, whoa, that was horrible timing. And then another one was like horrible timing as well. It's like, people are dying right now, dude. And it was just, he had really horrible comedic timing. Besides that, those are my only two complaints with that guy. Now, Darcy, I think that's her name in the movie, she talked way too much. And I understand she's supposed to be the character that's supposed to, like, emulate the audience or what the audience is thinking or feeling. But at a certain point, she became that person that wouldn't shut up in the movie theater. And it was like, okay, you really need to shut up. How about you shut her up and give more lines to Malekith? How about we do that? Instead of have her constantly talking, because she's getting annoying. She's on my nerves at this point. She'd be the person that I'd be turning around. I'd be like, hey, you really need to shut the fuck up, because I'm trying to watch this. Okay, I didn't pay like $18 so that you can run your mouth the whole time. Okay, thank you. If I wanted to hear your commentary, then I'll pay you money to put it on the video. That's what they would do if everybody wanted to hear your commentary. Okay, so shut up now. That's how bad she was getting by the end of the movie. But besides that, so good. Such a good movie. Oh, Jane Foster. I need to talk about her. I don't know if it's the direction of the character or just the development of the character, or maybe if it's the actress herself. But Natalie Portman, I love Natalie Portman. I mean, I think I saw her in V for Vendetta, and I was like, no, I'd still do her. She still looks mega hot to me. And I've seen her in Black Swan, I've seen her in V for Vendetta, and I've seen her in movies where she's been really freaking great. I've also seen her where she's been really freaking mediocre. Thor, Thor 2, and Star Wars. All the Star Wars movies, the prequel movies. She's just very bland, and I feel like she's almost playing that same character that she is in Star Wars. I mean, there's certain points where she's good, and I feel like maybe some of it's controlled by the dialogue, some of it's controlled by the writing, which happens. But I also feel like either they're not giving enough direction, or she's not a good enough actress to go off with it. Because I kind of feel like that with Thor, Loki, and Odin. Not as cool in the comics as they are in the movies, and that's because of the actors that portray them. Now, I honestly like Jane Foster better in the comics or in the cartoons than I do in the movie, because she's very bland. She's kind of boring. She has her moments, but they're few and far between. And really, the Thor's attraction to her doesn't make sense to me. If she was more feisty, it would make more sense to me, but she's not. Something that Blacksmith also mentioned in his review, the whole Sif Jane thing, they were just dirty looks, and that was really all you got. I felt like they took scenes out where those two should have been at each other, how ladies can be, and that was missing, and that was disappointing, because you really felt like it was there, and that's something Blacksmith mentioned, so he was right about some stuff, and actually most of his review is actually pretty good, so you should check it out. But That's one thing that was missing from that movie. I feel like she was a great character. I wanted to see her more. I wanted to see all of the Warriors 3 more. I think Levi did a pretty solid job. I kind of feel like Fandra's one of those characters that he could probably be played by a lot of actors, and they're going to play it more or less the same. He's not a hard character to hit. He's a ladies' man that's blonde, has a mustache kind of like mine, has the goatee kind of like mine. If I was blonde, I could probably pull him off. Um, but Odin, oh God, Anthony Hopkins is such a great with his bellowing. Oh, he's so intense. Like every scene that he's in, I feel like he steals. Same thing with Loki. He steals the show in every scene that he's in. Frigga, she was really badass in this. Odin's wife, she was so badass. I wanted to see more of her, and I want to rewatch the first movie to see more of her. Great movie. I think this is the best one of the single movies. I mean, I love Avengers. You can't top all the Avengers in one movie. You can't, because you got Captain America, Thor, Hulk. Thor and Hulk duking it out. Come on, that was a fight for the ages. You know what I mean? Which is kind of funny because Thor looks like he's from Rock of Ages. But anyways, so I don't think you can top that one. But as far as the single movie goes, I think this is the best one by far. It's resonated with me emotionally. I was in tears, like angry tears, it's such an intense movie, such a great movie. I loved it. It's my favorite one so far of the single character movies. So I give it a strong buy. I saw it in D-Box, which is like the rumbly seats and stuff like that. Really sweet. The ladies love that one. I mean, from what I've heard, my wife loves it. I know guys, their girlfriends, spouses love it. I'm going based off the facts that I have. Stats, okay? I'm not just throwing out stuff. That's that. That's how that cookie crumbles right there. And that was like $18. 3D was pretty weak. There were only like maybe 2 or 3 parts that I noticed were 3D. Don't see it in 3D. It's not worth it. It's not. D-Box is worth it, which is more than 3D, so you might as well go ahead and get the 3D for free. Might as well. If you can handle it. I've heard people that have small brains, it hurts their eyes. I made that up. But that's my theory, though. That's my theory, because it never hurts my head, never hurts my eyes. It doesn't give me headaches, But anyways, so yeah, it was a strong buy. I'm probably gonna see it again. Probably just in 2D. I'll take my pops to go see it, and then I'm probably gonna go see. I'm definitely going to buy it on Blu-ray and digital video disc, the combo probably, so I can watch it on my Mac, since my Mac doesn't do Blu-ray. That's BS. I paid so much for it. What the frick? So that's it for me. For Asgard, Pablo Gunner out.